It's me. It's a me, a Mario. It's not Mario, it's Zen. Hi. Um, I thought we would talk about the ever changing landscape, the ever changing world, the state of altering perceptions, altered states. How everything is always in motion. You know, that thing seemed to be a verb, Buckminster Fuller. The idea that you're part of this whole thing, and everything's always moving. There's no such thing as a noun. I mean, sure, a garbage can or a bench. I guess you could really consider that a noun, but not a human. A human can't be a noun. How can you really say a person, place, or thing is a noun? A person is not. I mean, from the level of persona, sure, yes, but the human being, the being that you are, now you're a verb. You're always actioning, even when you're sleeping. Everything always changes. The constant, the consistent alteration of everything. It's just always in motion. It's always in flux. Life is like that. We just assume that we can see where it's all going, and we don't know. How you doing? What's up, hippie? What's my pinky? Pinky in the brain? Didn't you see this last time? Didn't you see this? Yeah, it's an ankh and a scarab. The scarab is the brain, the Egyptian brain. How's the music? Is it too loud? Is it loud enough? Is it hold on, I gotta adjust my camera setting over here. There we go. There we go. I can't tell if I gotta move this camera because I'm getting so much glare. Can you guys see? Because I can't really. Let me do this. That might be helpful. And is the volume too loud? I think it's a little too loud. I'm gonna turn that down. So, a lot of people, they get so used to a regular routine, an orderly sequence of events. I get up at 8 o'clock, I have my coffee. They do the Groundhog Day because they want to feel that there's some certainty, something that they can control and hold, and it's there. It's a solid thing. But it's like sand through your hands. It's like you try to pick it up and it just falls. But you can't rely on anything. Everything is in such a state of morphing. I like the word morphing a lot. Everything changes, and the second that you go and try to order things and a sequence of must happen, it's you get stuck in your head. You get stuck in the ritual of manipulation over expectations. I mean, it's obviously great to have little rituals and expectations of things, certainly, but have not so many expectations on how things unfold. You can have an expectation of I have an expectation of being a multi-billionaire. Why wouldn't I? Sure, it wouldn't. But when will this happen? I can't tell you. Shit, somebody might maybe tomorrow, maybe today, or maybe. See, here's the thing: is the expectation could be could I say I want to be a billionaire, but what happens is the monetary system does this really strange thing, and it's like hyperinflation, and all this crazy shit happens, and the dollar value, it takes you $1 billion to buy a candy bar. You know how that happened in some countries, how like they were using their money to just like it had no value anymore. You know, it could go that way though. So my expectations of being a billionaire, why should I want to be a billionaire? So to question what is true, I like the idea of true value of things. What is the implicit true nature and value of anything. And I think not enough people have that. Um, what is of value to people? A nice car, a giant house. I don't know. People, I mean, what? Why is it that some people they value more than anything a collection of teacups, and other people value more than anything? Um, I don't know, a can of beans because they don't have enough money to afford. They can't afford the teacups. Not that I mean, who would want them anyways? I don't know. You know who does? Jackie Chan has an exorbitant. Is that the right word? He has a collection of teacups, and I can see why. Yeah, how they're made and how small and like the process of it. And yeah, there's a whole like. I used to collect teapots. Well, yeah, I had a pretty nice collection. But what is its value? I mean, like as I'm sitting here, I have a cigar and I have a beverage, and could I wear the same shirt for 2 weeks, or do I value changing my clothes? Do I value a shower? Do I value um, a meal? Do I value oxygen? I mean, once you start off with Maslow's hierarchy. Although I don't think that's absolutely correct, absolutely fundamentally correct. It's close though. Go through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you get to the point of once you have the established the first three things, then you can see what has value after that. Should I know enough people that just like sitting, listening to good music. For me, listening to good music has a shit ton of value. A shit ton is an actual amount. It's a lot more than a cum load of a shit ton. Yeah. So music, that what is that? What does it cost to do? A little bit of energy, a little bit of time. Other people have different value systems, and those values are often, as we weave this into expectations of having expectations of that are placed in values. So you have your values and your expectation of something occurring. If you don't realize the flux of everything, that how things change so abruptly in the world. One day you have this, the next day you don't. One day you're certain of something, and the next day you're not so certain. And as you get older, you realize the uncertainty is the only certain. And when you look at it that way, when you realize there's no certainty in this world, then your system of values changes. Imagine you're working every day for this one goal that's gonna, I'm gonna work for 10 years to access this goal of, I'm gonna retire. But then all of a sudden, something crazy happens, and 9 years in, you're like hit by a bus. You're out of here, like, oh, it's like you missed the whole thing. That 9 years just focused on some goal in the future that might not ever present itself. Do people still have dreams and goals and aspirations? You should. They're important. Those are more related to fantasies. But fantasies do come true. You should know that. You ever have a dream? I mean, I think most people probably the dreams that they have, because they're not so lucid and vivid, that they just consider it, they go, oh, that's just a dream. Oh, but on the contrary, once you've had dreams that are as vivid and lucid and tangible as this realm, you start to question, was that it? Or is this the dream? Or am I a butterfly dreaming myself? Or am I dreaming of being a butterfly that, Yeah. Now this place is pretty solid, but if you've ever have been, we can get back into the methods to get yourself into a dream world and have it be as lucid as this, as physical as this, and as easy as paying attention, as easy as being interested, as easy as checking right now. Are you dreaming? Are you dreaming? I'll ask myself that. I'll look at my hand. I'll look at this thing. I'm interested in it. I like the tactile function. And then in my dreams, I'll start doing that. And my dreams become more and more and more and more vivid, because your dream is always trying to outsmart you and get one step ahead of you. So if you start every day looking at the back of your hand, because this is what they'll tell you to do, look at the back of your hand, because your hands, or flip them over, start to melt and dissipate in the dream. Well, once you've done that enough, your hands won't do that anymore. People used to tell me, try to read a book. Oh, that wind there we go. Am I dreaming? That wind just got that there. Ooh, waba wooey. So, read a book, because you won't be able to do this, bro. So, try to read a book in a dream, and what happens? Well, at first, the words won't be there. They'll start to dissipate. But then one day you'll be able to read a book in a dream. Imagine that. When that happens, you're like, holy shit, what other kind of check can I do? They will tell you, go look in a mirror. Go look in a mirror. You'll either see a reflection of something else, somebody else, or it will be it won't. Then after a while, you'll start looking into a mirror in a dream that you know you're in a dream. And it will be a reflection of you, the way you sit here, the way that you see yourself. You're like, well, guess I'm not in a dream. This is real. The only way I've been able to, in some, as you get farther and farther into be more lucid and aware in your dreams, the thing that I've noticed that the one dream reality check is to see if you can levitate, fly. I mean, flying will oftentimes be so exciting that it will bring you back to this realm. But try levitating. Like right now, I'm legitimately right now, I'm going, can I levitate right now? I should be able to. Why wouldn't I be able to? And then in a dream, I would just levitate. I go, oh, okay, is it a dream, or am I just in another realm where I'm capable of doing that? Anyways, let me see. Let me get my chat on here. Yes. Oh, you got your guys's. People say your guys's. You guys, your comments here were not showing up. I had to hit a button here. Let me see. Oh, remember the Beanie Baby? Okay, I'm back here at Hippie Island. He said, when Beanie Babies. Oh yeah, people was like fucking fighting in McDonald's over them shits. What are the McDonald's, right? There was a bunch of shit there too, like or Tickle Me Elmo shit. I remember one year it was like so popular that I remember a friend of mine was their parents are kind of rich, and you couldn't find them anywhere. He had bought one for like $500 or something because his daughter really wanted it. So you fucking $500 for a Tickle Me Elmo. Hey, values, huh? What's up, Ninja Turtle? Ninja, you said you went to Taco Bell. Oh man, I don't know that it's any different chemicals, but perhaps it was more that you just haven't in so long, so that you noticed it. Or before you grow up and you just assume that's your general state of being. That's your general being, right? Is consuming that. So you wouldn't know if you weren't. You were always drugged. And then when you're not on drugs, it seems so. You're like, oh, because you smoothed into not eating Taco Bell. I've eaten fast food a few times in the past few years, and there's definitely something that occurs, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I just consume of a fish fillet. You realize like McDonald's and these companies, they have they have food scientists that all of the chemicals that they're putting in there, there's a they know the combination. They're scientifically putting a combination there to make it more addictive and more, and induce some sort of, you know, obvious chemical response in your body. Yeah, Taco Bell, man. All the things you can do with beans, rice, and a tortilla, huh? And cheese? What the hell is that these days? What's up, Brenton Taylor? What are you doing? What up, Yaki? What are you doing? Oh, Brenton, you saying levitating for you? That's the craziest thing, because for me, that's that's easy. I very much levitate in almost every dream. I'll sometimes I'll be in a dream and I'll be finding out if I'm lucid and getting to that point. I go, oh shit, yeah, this is probably a dream, and I'll start talking to somebody, and I'll see if that, because in dreams you can't talk. Well, that's not true. You can. You can actually have a conversation. Most people will not talk to you in the dreams. I mean, so far, but some people will. And I've asked, like, do you know this is a dream? And they kind of avoid that, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'll levitate. I'm like, do you see me sitting? Do you see me right now levitating? It's kind of like they just look the other way, and they kind of avoid it. But yeah, levitating is where it's at. Oh, there's a little tornado, a wind tornado. So yeah, so welcome to this new park that I don't come to very often. We are in the wonderful land of New Orleans. It is, I don't know, 10th, 12th December 2021, according to the Gregorian people's calendar. It is perhaps a Friday, I think so. And it is a glorious 79, almost 80 degrees right now. That's fabulous. Who else is rocking out the 80-degree weather in December? I couldn't imagine if I would have grown up in the South, you know, being from the North, would I have ever considered going to the North? You know, would I ever assumed, like, living in the North as a child, I just assumed seasons. I just assumed seasons existed everywhere, right? Not even thinking even about, like, winter. To me, I even considered, like, Florida. Well, they still have winter, but yet in the tip of Florida, not really. Not really. Then I moved to the South. I was like, shit. It doesn't even feel like Christmas. It doesn't even feel like the holidays. It doesn't even, like, where's the snow at? And then after a couple years, I was like, this is way better. No snow. And I wonder if I lived here, would I have gone somewhere and be like, yeah, I want to live where it's fucking cold, and I got to wear layers, and I got to start a car up an hour ahead of time and shovel out my car from the snow and have snow. I mean, damn. I don't get it. I really don't understand how people live where. How do we live outside of the was it the tropic? The Tropic of Capricorn, Cancer? What is that, 20? How many degrees? Where does that start? I don't know how we get that. I don't think humans are supposed to really live up there. I think we're supposed to be kind of between the equator and then one of the tropics. I don't know. I don't know why people live up there. It's too cold. Fuck it. Oh yeah, I don't know. The levitating thing for me, I think, it wasn't something I tried to develop. It was because I would always fly in dreams, and then it got to the point that the flying thing, when you're flying, because you can feel the whole, like, you feel it, and you'll start breathing differently, and your heart will race differently, and your brain waves will, you know, you'll go into a different brain wave, thereby waking you up out of the dream. So it's really hard to control, not necessarily control the flying, but the excitement of it, that you don't wake yourself up to not enjoy it. But the levitating, so then from there I just went to the levitating thing and slowly levitate, because there was, like, less less adrenaline that is getting kicked into my system, and so I can stay in that mode a little longer. Then I'm just like, then I start when I'm aware, I'm like, okay, I can fly, but I can't fly. I don't want to fly too fast. I'll wake myself up. So yeah, reality checks are big in the dream world, and this world. I mean, you do it here. So the dream world is basically unconscious or subconscious to people, and the more you hear do your reality checks, the more you do in the dream, and then it overlaps into each other. Like the dream becomes more like this, and this becomes more like the dream world. So soon enough, you will be able to levitate and fly. Superpowers and shit, huh? So, what up, Crow? The crows were being mad talkative earlier. Everybody, remember, if you're enjoying what I'm talking about, feel free to use the thumbsy uppy button. It's pretty easy. You just push the thing over there. And comments and financial support is always welcome. CashApp and PayPal and Venmo, it's beneath in the box. You know, even if it's a buck, or 100, or 1,000, or if you have a rich uncle, cousin, neighbor, nephew, you know, somebody you know that's got cash, money, I don't know, or it could be digital credits, whatever. They wanna build some shit, build an empire. Here I am. I know lots of things. Support the idiocy. Hey, Branson Taylor, why are you redacting your messages? Is that you doing that? Are you doing that? Why are you doing that? How dare you? Brenton Taylor? There is no redacting of messages. How dare you? So, questions, comments, or any pretend I'm like like a Google, or like a search engine. What do you want to know? Pretty much an encyclopedia of weird shit, little tidbits that are usually useful for your life. Not silly things like, why does the guy make elephant dung gin? Like, that's a real thing. Somebody fermented elephant's dung to create a gin, and there's like a whole purpose for it, and it's supposedly pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of, you got the coffee beans that are fed to animals and the acid in their stomach, and then they shit them out, and coffee beans is supposed to be even better. And there's a lot of it. Actually, in Ayurveda, there's quite a bit of use for feces. I mean, in India, what do you think all of the incense? The incense is like elephant dung. So, imagine burning elephant dung. It happens and it smells good. Imagine that. Elephants are pretty awesome creatures. Ninja, what was my favorite meal when I was strictly vegetarian? I mean, even now, my favorite meal would probably still be a vegetarian meal. As much as I love a lobster and, a steak, like good steak, I still would probably go with most anything Indian, like Indian food. I like all sorts of different kinds of curries. Probably like a like aloo gobi, like potatoes and, well, I really like cauliflower and potatoes in a wet rub. Anything Indian, really. By far, if I can only go with one cuisine, one diet, it would be definitely Indian, and a close second would be Greek, Mediterranean kind of thing. I like oils, I like I like olives a lot. I like pickled things. I love beets, and I don't know. Greek food is dope. Dolmades, vegetarian dolmades are pretty dope. Yeah, grape leaf and rice filling and whatever. Yeah. Brenton, do you believe the government has been out of this dome? Yes. The people. Yes, I think plenty. I think again, the way that I observe this realm would be like if you just took an egg and, well, I'm thinking of it like a Christmas, one of those Christmas ball thingies, but put another one over that and put another. That's how I see it. Flat realm, and then each one has its own solar system outside of it, out of us, outside of us. So it's like circles inside of circles, you know. And I don't know whether it's an actual physical object or it's a energetic thing, but certainly, I don't see why not. When you say extraterrestrial, I think there's times and places of getting to the other realms. Maybe you could just go into a realm beneath us and go under. Like if it's as flat across into the other realms, like all you'd have to do is go under the dome and then come up. So go like the inner Earth. Like obviously there must be something down beneath us. There must be I don't see why the Earth wouldn't be hollow as well as flat. The realm seems to be that way, and it seems to have like encasements over it. And yeah, certainly the higher ups have been outside of this. I mean, we can't even trust the maps to begin with, so we already have that to deal with. We don't know what the maps are, really. We don't know. Like for me, the entire Pacific Ocean seems like there's a lot of just water there. Now, how would you know what is there? There could be a whole land right now sitting there. There could be people just chilling on that. Everybody from Hollywood and elites and whatever, they'd be hanging out in this giant piece of land in the middle of the Pacific. How would you know? You're not flying over that. You're not driving out there. You're not boating out there. You're not. They could be just straight. No, that's just water out there. And the only way you getting out far enough, because you'd have to own a luxury yacht with enough crew. You'd have enough money, enough gas to go out that far into the ocean to find it. That at that point you're already in the club anyways. So I don't. Yeah. So that's one more thing besides beyond the just the dome or whatever. Where if we're inside of a dome, there's that, and there's also I think there's other land even within our realm that we just don't know about. What's up, Skull? What are you doing? I'm drinking my new favorite beverage, vodka and Sunny D. You know what I really want to do? I want to mix Sunny D with Tang powder. Have like a super concentrated tangy Sunny D. I think that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Oh, nice. Okay, let me get this back over here now. Yeah, I gotta get that's gonna be right there. Now you got me thinking about food, and you're making me a little hungry. Thinking about like right now, what would I? Oh, have you ever had a muffalata? Pretty dope sandwich once in a while. It's basically like olive spread and it's just lots of olives and meats and stuff. Pretty good sandwich. Something that I really enjoy, but I've only had it a few times because it's just so much. It's just so rich. What I've noticed is after I've done any length of fasting or consuming just liquids, whenever I go back to eating, I really like to eat, and I feel like my body is requesting it. I like to eat a soft-boiled egg. I like to eat pickles. I like to eat olives. I like to eat hearts of palm and sauerkraut, and artichokes. That's one of my and beets and beets. That's my meal. Like every time I've done any extended fast, I just crave all of those things. Yeah. Again, if we go back to what if I had my druthers, what would I consume? What would I eat? Lots of ferments, a lot of fermented food, fermented and Indian foods. Uh-oh. It's wind. There's wind. Hey, wind, chill out. I might have to change my location because if this phone falls, it's a sidewalk here, and I have to go where the grass is. Do I believe they have made deals and contact extra? Yeah, I think so. I don't see why not. I mean, the level of technology and things that we have. I know like, the way you're saying it, like quotes around it, like so-called extraterrestrials, or just higher life forms, or more intelligent, or more, it would be in one way maybe our lineage and our ancestors, and another way another species outside of us that has the capacity to do things that, you know, obviously if you have 6 fingers you can play the piano better, right? If you had a different functions, different brain capacity, different ways of, you know, I mean, think about the technology you knew about when you was 5 versus what you know about now, and then add 30 years onto that. I always try to explain it. It's hard to wrap your head around, because it's when you say multiply every year, as if it's twice as much as last time, but it's not. It's exponential. Kind of like a penny makes a billion in 30 days. If you double a penny, 1 penny equals 2 pennies equals 4 equals 8. That's how technology is. So if I gave you 30 years worth of technology, it's not just 30 times. It's literally a million times. 1 penny equals a million. So 30 years is worth a million times more technology. So if I say right now we have capacity of 30 years, what we think of 30 years ahead of time, they already have the technology. They just don't share it for 100 different reasons. You know, it's like if you knew that anything you did could be fixed immediately from technology, you would do stupider shit. If you gave a child, if you let children, small people with small minds, the capacity to do everything idiotic and reckless, and there would be no harm, no death involved, no you have to be able to get some bumps and bruises along the way. So higher technology might result in going, there's no real harm because don't worry, we can fix that. So they reserve some of the higher technology, the higher forms of energy. You don't let somebody just drive the Ferrari out the lot before they even know how to drive a lawnmower. You know what I mean? What's up, Dave? Oh, hey, Dave. Well, first off, you shouldn't call it payment. You don't owe me anything. How would you like to share some of your energy? In the Cash App is great, or PayPal, Cash App or PayPal, and or unless you got Venmo, anyone is fine. Cash App is the best. But actually, you know what? Venmo is kind of cool because sometimes they get cash back if I use it somewhere. But I don't really. Not too many people use Venmo. More Cash App. Yeah. And because I have a really cool card. Do you want to see my Cash App card? How awesome it is? Because you can design your own. You guys want to see it? I'll show it to you. Where is it? Here it is. There you go. And you know what's funny? There you go. And that's how you get. That's how you can check that out. How fucking rad is this? So you guys want to know? There's me. Bang bang bang. That's how you give me all of your monies. But isn't that rad? I could design that shit out. Focus on it. You are donating money to Zen. Give me your monies. Oh, PayPal's on some shit. Yeah, PayPal always has some weird shit going on. There's always something. But funny, I think Cash App is part of PayPal. I think, or Venmo is one of the two. Like I think it's a similar, just another. Yeah. Well, if you don't, hey, look at. If you don't have Cash App, I will give you. I'll give you a code, and it gives you free money and gives me free money. Do you not have that? Yeah, Dave. If it's on some shit, I mean, usually .me/. That always works. But if you don't have, usually like even all of those, if you don't have Venmo or if you don't have uh, Cash App, and this is for everybody else too. In the future, here's what we can do. Here's an easy trade for everybody. This is free money for both of us. Here's what you do. You say, Zen, I'll give you $5, but you don't actually have to give me $5 because what will happen is if I give you my code, then you'll get $5 after you put $100 in there or something. I don't know how. I don't remember exactly how it works, but I know you will get it because I've gotten it before. And I get $5, so you didn't even have to give me anything. Like the $5 you gave me was free. So there you go. You can easily donate to me just by signing up for the Cash App shit. And also, you should look into Venmo too. I'll have to put. I don't know why I didn't put the things on there. I'll have to put that my code beneath this in the description box too. But Venmo is pretty dope because depending on where you use it, sometimes they'll give you like free shit just for shopping at certain stores. And there's like a monthly thing where you can click on bonus something, where you can get like discounts all sorts of places. Brenton, you're saying so they have a breakaway civilization aside and away from all this? I think so. That seems only reasonable. Because look, the way that you live and you think things should be isn't necessarily how a tribe would. Like, think about our perception of third world, second world, and first world nations. Our perception is. Let's see how deep we want to go with this. Our perception is based upon financial status. It's based upon a monetary system. It's not based on magic. It's not based on love. It's not based on growth. It's not based on food or nourishment. It's not based upon happiness. None of that goes into our equation of what we perceive. And so the way that they interact and participate with reality, nature, is wildly different. So if you were to look at people walking around in tribal cultures with a different language, that literally they dance, they rain dance, and they understand vibrations, and they make arts, and they eat good food, and they're like maybe naked, or maybe they have maybe some cultures have one woman and 10 with a harem of 10 men, and other cultures are the opposite. But there's something there that people would go, why? That's crazy. That's not the righteous way. Yet everyone is on board with the healing, the love, and the whatever that is. So we see through these lenses and these like the spectacle, the way that we the way that we see things is fully our lenses are cloudy because our perception of how things should be. Like I know certainly these cars shouldn't look the way they look. There's not a lot of healthy the car itself is not a healthy thing. I can look at these shoes that I'm wearing even right now. I'm wearing sandals. Not healthy for my feet. they're better than a lot of things. But in the grand scheme of things, why wouldn't I be barefooted walking in the grass? Why is there concrete here? Why do I need a level ground? I mean, it should be in some places. I think there's a purpose. I look at a bicycle. I'm looking at this bicycle, and I'm like, do you know how bad that is for the perineum? Is that what it's called, the perineum? The pericardium? No, pericardium. That whole thing there, your taint. Like, like, what do you think's happening there? Should that pressure be there all the time on your taint and having your nut sack? I mean, legitimately, that's unhealthy. Your shoes are unhealthy. So if you were to really look at society and everything they were doing as a totality, and you'd say, where's the wisdom, where's the intelligence, where's the health? Because usually I would say health is intelligent. An intelligent, but yet we have a disgusting, filthy, unhealthy culture that prides itself on being ignorant and silly. Like riding a bike is silly. Do I have a bike? No, I don't have a bike right now. Have I have a bike? Yeah, sure. Do I want one to get around with sometimes? Yeah. But I would get rid of the little. I get the seat just for the butt. But it's made so improperly. There's nothing functional, healthy about it. There's nothing for kinesiologically how your body should gait and align and participate in dance through nature. But it's not. It's definitely not a bicycle, and it's definitely not sitting in a car the way you sit in a car. And a car shouldn't be that big. And the tire. Why you got 4 tires? Why does that make sense? Why do tires have air in them rather than pieces of rubber that would? Why is the car only still, as I will repeat a billion times, why does a car only get 25 miles a gallon? Because I remember back in 1960s it was getting like 18 miles a gallon. What have we done? Everything else goes higher technology, but we can't figure out how to fix an engine to make it better. I don't think so. It's a narcissistic and egoistic paradigm of ignorance where they just continually, well, that's just the way it's been done, and that's what we're going to continue to do, even though it's stupid and unhealthy and ruins things. Let's just keep doing it that way. So the breakaway civilizations, again, I know there's a long way to get there, but certainly they can't show you that civilization because you'd be like, that's not right. It can't exist that way. They give you an idea of, do you remember when the Venus Project came out with Jacques Fresco and Fresno? Was it Fresco? Whatever. Jacques and Peter Joseph, and they were doing the Zeitgeist movement, right? And now people, I would show that to them, and you try to explain to them a culture based upon having a resource-based economy, which is true. It's a real-world thing. If you have the resource and your economy is based on the capacity to use that tool, that object to create something, that's how much we have. We have this many of this and this much of this, and if we base it directly on that, and you give people the realization of how that culture works, they can't accept it. They can't see how that would function, because they either come from a capitalist, meaning leveraging mindset, they come from a deficit mindset, they come from thinking taxes are not in every way theft. They think that that's only right. They think that interest, inflation, and income tax are anything but usury. I still can't understand how people that read the Bible that are Christians, how would they ever pay taxes? Why would they ever? How could they? That is literally, if you're a Christian, if you claim to be a Christian, you cannot pay taxes. Your boy was flipping money changers' tables over his entire. If you read the whole thing, it's really pretty much about that, usury. That's what he was. If he existed, which that's a whole story. Whatever. If he did, it was all about him being against usury, meaning leveraging something to get more out of getting, how do you make one apple equal six? You can't. One apple is one apple, but they give you $1 and they want six in return in the future. It can't happen. Thus, we have this inflated, usury culture, which doesn't really exist in the real world. Doesn't exist in Ubuntu. It doesn't exist in tribal nations, really. It doesn't exist in where there's shareable waves. It doesn't exist in a resource-based economy. It can't. It wouldn't. But people can't wrap their head around how that could exist because they're so fundamentally their mind is already immersed into what they think. Oh, well, socialism and communism are no good because you have a capitalist propaganda shoveled into your face your entire life. So what do you think you'd believe? I'm not suggesting that communism or socialism is the right answer. I'm just saying maybe you should examine the culture you're living in first before you have any way of perceiving what a different culture would be. And there are those places, but they can't. Why would they want to show that to people? They don't want you visiting. You're going to come here with your stupid, unhealthy, sickly, based mindset. You're just lower level like nonsense, and come to hang out in a jacuzzi on an island with the sunshine, eating fruits and enjoying the just immersing yourself in nature. They don't want you there. You'll fuck it all up. You'll try to capitalize on it. You'll try to put a sign up. You'll try to put up a fucking. You'll ruin the splendid the splendidness of what nature already provides. You would just it's the song, what's the one, like, putting it's like putting an airport on an island, but it takes up, this idea. It's gonna take up the whole island, and you're gonna get tourists to come here and just take pictures and wear stupid hats and put suntan lotion on and poison the land and the water. Ugh, fucking idiots. Well, there's my rant. That's what I had to say about that. I mean, think about the most basic things that we know. What wouldn't most people choose a life of like a majestic, splendid life of hedonism to some degree? Wouldn't you enjoy the splendors of how nice it is? Like this, you have a body to use it, to touch it, to smell the things. You have a nose. Wouldn't you be sensual? Wouldn't nature like why are you? Do you know where you're sitting? You're sitting in this machine, this vehicle, your body, and it has all of these things. You can hear sounds, and it causes all this feeling and this emotion and all this of good music, right? And you smell the cooking. You smell. I can smell the ground right now. I can smell the moisture that's letting it. There's a hint of wintergreen. And I can see out of my eyes. I observe all of this, and but yet we go, no, we deny all of that. You're here. Don't worry, you get that in the next life. Well, you're here now. Why not enjoy it? Most people would choose. I would say 100% of people would choose if they didn't. How do you think a child exists before they're trained out of their, I want to know what this is. Put this here in my mouth. I'll like this, touch this, and we'll play with this and see what that is. Why, what is this? How does this work? Curiosity. It's there. I want to interact with. And then we just go, zap that right out of you. Can't. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. So anyways, so what do you see in these, people are eating grapes, lounged out, half naked loincloths, wine, it's bacchanal, it's Bacchus, which is bacteria, which is your root chakra and all this. It's a fucking party. It's a pan. Pan the Goat God, cooking with Pan. But join me in the future. I will be having some more cooking with Pan shows. Y'all know that's my other shit that I be doing. Uh, that was the name of a couple shows on there. If anybody's seen them, it was me throwing down in the kitchen, which I would easily say that I would gamble on me, like people. Oh shit! People go onto these cooking shows or whatever. No, I would put money down on. I'd gamble on me. Yes, that is one thing I'm certain of. I can put some shit together, but it's not me doing it. It's already nature providing it. I just know the order of things. I know how much of this and that and the other. How much it's artistry. I don't really want to bake, but I'll cook. Too much scientific shit going on in baking. I'll leave that to the specialists. So yeah, I'll do another whole from the beginning, a whole show on the polygamous slash hedonistic slash experiential immersion of life, and how we get pulled from our senses, our sensual life. You're just everything is meant to pull the nature out of you, of being curious and using your senses. You've become incensed, like like you're here, go experience, explore, observe, participate, interact. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what this thing is. And kick the tires, see how it handles what's going on here. Then then we just all of a sudden, hands off, don't touch, don't hit this button, don't do that culture. How many times does a child hear the word no before they're 5? It's some ridiculous, like 20,000 times or something before they're 5. It's something ridiculous. So that's all that in their mind. They're just like, no. My guy over here playing I don't know what he's playing the pots and pans, I think. Brunson, does fasting affect your DNA and genetics? I mean, affect it. I mean, it would, in the sense that you're removing things that are in the way of things happening. I mean, that's what fasting is. It's just removal of things. So if there's a block of something, if you have a block in your body, and you just start putting more water in there, and it pushes it away, it becomes unraveled. It becomes that. So think of your DNA and your when you have gene sequencing and whatever. Like I don't think it's making something new or necessarily altering it. I think it's just unblocking the connection to whatever your original shit was. I mean, I assume, in some ways maybe it's altered. I don't know. I've never looked at it. I don't know. I know what it's done for me, but I'm like, did that just make me more like I used to be before I was trained to be the way that I was? Did I become more what I was before, like when I was like 3, 2? Because I became more like a child or something. I don't know. Yeah. The interesting thing about like DNA is a weird one. I wonder what its connection is to Daniel from the Bible, and like I'm always skeptical about the words and the claims that a lot of science makes, because they'll show you a picture that is always digital and like, you know, some sort of like computer animated sequence of some bullshit, and like, no, but what is it? Can I just look at it? Like, how do you, oh, there's a billion things in your code, I can look at your DNA and the computer unravels it. No, you can't. You show it to me. Like, I want to see it. And not, I don't know anybody's like, I can't, can you count to a billion? Can you do a billion pieces of reason? You're never going to do it. You can't count to a billion. There's no way you could sequence a billion things. You can do that just out of nowhere. I don't know. It's just, you know, the A, T, C, and G. I mean, I guess. You know, I've just never. Obviously we can alter things. Obviously there has been some mutations and some morphings and alterations to humans and other species, but you know what the what that really looks like and what it means, I don't know. My guy over there playing the guitar, yeah. But again, fasting is another word. See, people think fasting means to go without, but in fact, the word fasting means to speed up for one, and it also means to fasten, to connect you to something, to hold strong to something. So if you fasten to yourself, you fast to an idea, you fast to what you're doing. It speeds up a lot of processes too. My guy jamming out over here. You guys can hear that? Speaking of, wasting my speakers right now. I forgot to turn these off. Uno momento. So, yeah. What do you think you would do? Here's a show I wanted to do, and maybe I'll do this whole show tomorrow. But the initial part of the thought was, if money was no object. I like this thought game because it's silly to me. What would you do if money was no object? I'm like, I would do all the things that literally cost money to do. Like, wouldn't you? What? How am I getting? I want to go. I want to go bathe in Jello, a giant pool of Jello filled with 100 hot women that and diamonds and, like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to go on a jumbo jet and fly into like Saudi Arabia and jump out. You know what I mean? Like, these things. What would you do if money was no object? I think it's a. I know. What would you do with your life? Like your job, your work. What would you do? What do you love? Just do that. You'll never work a day in your life. What would you do? What would you do? I would suppose I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. Sort of. Like, what would you rather be doing? Like, right now hopefully you're doing exactly what you want, which is, I sometimes enjoy listening to people. I sometimes enjoy, like, so hopefully you enjoy listening to me. And it's like, not like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna go listen to this jackass for a little bit. Yeah. Ugh. You could. That's something that impresses me a little bit. I try not to think about too much. But, like, motherfuckers take time out of their day to listen to what the fuck I gotta say. That's cool. That's really fucking weird. It's like when I first had, when I was looking at my stats on shit, when I first did, it was striking. I was like, really had like more than 1 million views on shit, and I've like, the amount of hours people have put into listening to me jabber. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. Yeah. But, and it's like people invested their time. Some people stop by, listen for a couple minutes, like, whatever. Other people, like, they fucking, yeah, it's cool. Like, what would I be doing? Like, I mean, would I rather be sitting here on this bench talking to you guys, or in a hot tub in that hotel over there with some hot prostitutes? You know what I mean? Yeah. No, I don't really want a prostitute. I like a little more connection than that. Mentally too. But I mean, this is so. So I have my exact life I want. It's close. This is comfortable. I don't. I thoroughly enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking. I enjoy sitting here with a beverage and being on a park bench. You look at a lot of houseless people, homeless people. Like a lot of them are other than the where to sleep at night thing. They're kind of in a cozy lifestyle. They're kind of doing what they want. Like they're not being lazy. I guarantee that. They're just they're just objecting to the sense of reality that's been put before them. Like this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do this and that. They're objecting to that, most of them. Here at least. I think other cities it might be a little different. As I always like to put a caveat, I don't know that the homeless population in New Orleans is a little different than in other cities that I've been exposed to. I think it has to do with the weather and the culture and the music and the general like getting fed. Like when I see people that are homeless and fat, I'm just like, you're taken care of. You're good. People are well fed in this city. Imagine being in a place that homeless and in a in a shitty city where the food's no good. Oh, Ninja, you found some raw milk? Alpha grass? That's awesome. Um, yeah, how is it? It's got to be mad delicious. What's up, buddy? It's got to be mad delicious, huh? Have you made any butter out of it? That'd be, man, good butter is good. You should make yourself some better, dude. Have you ever made butter from scratch? Highly suggested. What is this next? What did you say here? Do I think Hitler escaped somewhere? Well, let me cover this in a very broad brushstroke really quickly. First of all, you'd have to start with the premise that I believe anything about that whole story, and I don't. Hate to break it to you. It's either the opposite of what you're told, because again, winners write history, or it's a complete absolute fabrication. In the sense that of what, kind of like it's all an act. They're all actors. They're all on the same team. The whole entire Earth was never. There was no. I don't believe in the world wars the way they present them. I definitely don't believe in the Civil War the way it was presented by any means. It was something much different. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Stolenhistory.org. I don't even know if they still got the shit up because I know. I think that got taken down quite a few times. It was a great site. Maybe it's up again. Stolenhistory.org. Check it out. But I'm either with Eric Dubé on what that whole thing was, because like who's out here you're literally told you don't read Mein Kampf. You're literally when you can't because you don't speak German, right? And so you can't read it. And if you did get a copy, it's translated. Are you certain? And then on top of that, how are you reading it? It's like, are we certain that wasn't a complete act? Are we certain that he isn't and wasn't played by your boy Walt Disney? Are we certain of this? Was the movie that Charlie Chaplin made where he's doing the speech with Hitler and they call it a parody? He had to that was his own funding to make that film, right? What's it called? The Great, what the hell is the name of it? Where he's doing that oratory, this beautiful speech. And they said he was making fun of, like tongue-in-cheek making fun of, but I don't think that. I watched that, I'm like, I think that's really what either that idea of Adolf was a complete is the opposite of what is true, because in all of reality we can always everything seems to be opposite world, or It's either opposite or a make believe, because as we'll say again, the, these wars are so far from true, so far from how they make them seem. Hi puppies. Hi doggo. Hi dog. Oh my God, there's so many dogs. What's up, buddy?
Here, Doug.
Hi doggy. Hi baby. Oh my gosh. Is this a pit and a wiener?
I don't know.
Hi baby.
It's not my dog.
Where did you come from?
I don't know.
Hi you. Where did you come from?
Bow-legged.
I know. Hi.
I guess maybe it's that guy over there or something.
Maybe. Well, good to see you, bro. Oh my God, this is a pit and a wiener. I'm pretty sure. You see pit in it, right? Like a brindle pit and a wiener. You guys want to see this dog?
Bow-legged, I know that.
Oh, get over here. Get over here, silly. And it's bow-legged wiener pit bull dog. Oh, he just ran away. Come back over here. I don't know where the hell he came from. It's probably these hippies that are over here. Yeah, if he comes back over, I'll show him to you. Come here, wiener, fathead dog. Come here. Yeah. So just finishing up that. Do I think no? There wasn't anywhere to escape to, in the same sense that like, do I believe that like, some guy, some crazy Middle Eastern dude with a beard, was in a cave and no, it's silly. The whole thing it's all fucking fake. It's all silly. I mean, we've already been given the instruction booklet on a million reasons you don't trust anything that comes out of the government's mouth, and so by proxy, your school systems and the networks of television are feeding the government's position and on what's going on. So how can we take any of it? How can any of it be anywhere near what could possibly be reality or truth or history or heritage? It couldn't be. It wouldn't be. It would go against the common the consistency. Consistently bullshitting. What's up, buddy? So yes. I really want this little puppy to come back over here. Although it did have a hippie puppy smell. It definitely had an aromatic to it. It was not delightful. No, yeah. You ever they smell like corn chips sometimes. Dogs smell differently based on their diet. Most people's dogs stink to high hell because they're eating that protein pellet shit. The idea of dog food is another. Let's just, as I was saying earlier, the things that we do that are stupid and unhealthy and blah blah blah. Like the fact that we feed dogs dog food is insane, because like, who came up with dog food? Like, that's not food. You wouldn't eat it, so how could it be? Dog in nature is not like, hey, can I find a protein pellet that literally has nothing that's good for it in there? The idea of dog food is so so ingrained and so connected to veterinarians and your dog getting stabbed like people do to their kids, and getting all of their, you got to go and get your vet checkup and this and then. What happened to what are you talking about? What about all these animals that are in nature? The feral ones, the ones that just out there. They're not seeing any vet. They're not eating some pellet off the floor. It's a we think, and people that feed their dog. I've had to have this conversation with people. They're feeding they try to lecture me on feeding my dog the food that I'm eating, my dog the food that I'm eating, and say, you need to feed it dog food. I'm like, what kind of fucking idiot are you? What kind of moron are you really? Like, you would eat that dog food? No, that's for the dog. Like, no, you're reprehensible as a human being that you would make your dog eat that shit. Like, why do you think dogs only live to be a certain number of years old? Because you're feeding it garbage. Dogs aren't supposed to develop tumors and cancer and all this shit, by the time they're 7. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Animals in nature are not out of shape and weird looking and getting all sorts of these fucking diseases. It's just not happening. But yeah, we're so wildly compassionate and intelligent that we feed our dogs dog food. Don't lie to yourself, you know? Oh shit, Ninja. $14 for a gallon? Oh, that's tough. You know what you should look into? I forget where you said you lived. You should look into, because if you can get raw milk, look into cow share. There's probably something even online. I'm gonna hook you up next show. You could try to find it, but I'll give you. I have the website, but it's I'm sorry I keep doing this, but I have like a nose hair that I don't know if it's my mustache is now tickling. I'm gonna have to get one of those, a weed whacker for my nostrils. There's a website that has that is devoted to people. Just get on there and they'll put a position, like they'll on a map they'll put a location where trees are that are growing fresh fruit or mushrooms are growing or something, and it's the whole world. I mean, it's especially based. I mean, I've a lot of it, I think it was based in the U.S. to begin with, but it's worldwide. And you can just click on your city and find places that have basically free food. And it actually goes so far as there's places that do food services. Like, so in New Orleans, there's a Tibetan Buddhist. No, it's a Hare Krishna. It was a Hare Krishna. They do Sunday free dinner for anybody, vegetarian free dinner, and it's on the map, and it tells you. So you look on the map, and it tells you what what they're serving, whatever, or what days, and then it'll for the trees. It'll tell you what season it's in, if it's on someone's property, if you need to ask, like shit like that. So you can just go in there and say, hey, here's a location of some food. Pretty awesome. And here there's also a support group that does refrigerators and storage. Like, so somebody has a house. Like, so here there's a house behind me, right? And they'll have on their side of their house or in the front of the house, they'll have a cupboard and a refrigerator, and it's leave some or take some, whatever you need. It's like a community refrigerator, and they have them all over town. So if you ain't got something, you come and get fed for free. And if you got something, if you got a little extra, put it in there. It's pretty awesome. I mean, I've never used any of the services, but I may have eaten some fruit off of a tree here and there. My thoughts on Alex Jones? I mean, he's obviously in the club. He's obviously part of the team. He's obviously used to be a comedian. I mean, Alex Jones, whether people want to accept it or not, is almost certainly. I can't be 100% sure, but it's kind of pretty apparent that he was Bill Hicks. But my thoughts on him, he's become his character. He's that fucking, smoking cigars and 12, probably a 12 pack of fucking Bush Lights, and he's definitely got some dead hookers in his trunk. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he's out there, and he is a caricature of a character of himself, and he plays it hilariously. And most of what he says is pretty true, but he also there's So it's entertaining. He's entertainment, but some of the shit is so crazy that it dilutes people that know everything else. It kind of turns them off to the rest of the message. So if there is the purpose is to make it look so crazy that they make him, his character and everything so crazy that it's like throwing everything else that he says out. 90% of what he says is probably true, and then he's like, all right, so how do I say the dumbest, craziest shit so that it just invalidates everything else, thereby, shitting. It's like he's shitting in his own punch bowl, but on purpose, because it's the character he's playing. But then again, maybe he's right about 100% of it. I mean, the idea of like reptilians and reptoids and shapeshifters, I don't see why that's not a possibility. But I also there is the, well, so what? Why would that, just because it is a different creature, why would that imply that they're all evil, they're all bad, they're all not out for the benefit of, the whole fucking kit and caboodle of reality, like the existence of life everywhere. I don't think that it, if the planet was going to be under an NWO, the whole thing was going to be like destroy everything, and if it would have already happened, you know what I'm saying? Like it already have occurred. I can't. You can't throw them all into they're all fucking bad, evil, weird, shape-shifting creatures, because it could be good ones. Just like there's people that are Christian that are good, not too often. Just like there's people that are into all sorts of things that you like, oh, you would have never known. It's a very, very subjective thing. So Alex Jones is fine by me. I think he's hilarious. I think he plays his part up, like plays it to a T. When he's really getting mad, he's so into it that he it's like he puts the turbo button on. Does anybody else do that? Does anybody else go into like overacting, hyperacting mode? Come on, you guys do that in your life. Everybody here does that. You overact something. I mean, think of children. Here's how children grow up. They, people that become crybabies and whiners and whatever, and they become drama queens. Like that's from childhood, from the parental upbringing. So how would you gain attention, and how to get? So they were learning a call and response of getting attention, and how to get attention. Attention seeking, love, approval, etc. And from an early age, so that sometimes they would overact an injury or pain to get the response. Others were taught to be funny, to laugh, to that's. But a lot of people were always overactors because they need to find they need the response, they need the validation. I don't know. This is kind of a talk we were doing yesterday. I don't know why I act the way I do. I don't have that. It'd be nice if people liked me, you know what I mean? But it's not like a validation or seeking approval. I think people need to. I think the more and more people get rid of the need to be to have a stamp of approval by everybody else, they let off all the stress. Their shoulders loosen, and they become better people in general because there's less stress. There's less stress motivating them. There's less stress directing them. Less anxiety. Let me see how much juice is on my phone. 3.14. So welcome everyone. There is apparently 7 beings here, or at least So says my screen. Feel free, which means there's probably been many, many more. Feel free to hit the thumbs up if you like what I'm saying, and even if you don't like, you can hit the dislike, but I won't. Wait a second. I will see it. Everybody else won't see it, but I will see it because as soon as I click on my shit, it tells me what my thumbs up and thumbs downs are. And they said they did it so for the creators that it wouldn't affect them mentally. That if their shit wasn't getting all the, there's like likes and dislikes, it would like, offend them. Well, they said that was the reason, but the lie is that we can still, I'm creating, so when I do this, I can still see it. You on your side, whenever you click on a thing now, it just says how many thumbs up. What? People aren't allowed to not like things now? We'll give you the option, but we won't show everybody else this. Nobody likes this. Yeah. Oh yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, feel free to thumbs up if you want to, or thumbs down, or as per usual, sit on your hands, play with your butthole, whatever you do. And if your hands make their way out of your butthole to the computer screen, you can always donate. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, all that shit. Keeps me lubricated and saying funny things or intelligent things, and also keeps my phone on, so I can do these shows and a roof over my head, Oh, toxic, yeah, Ninja. Toxic positivity. Oh, it's the worst. Toxic positivity is like when everybody's a cheerleader. It's also, toxic positivity is basically a tactic. I really need to, I think I'm gonna get one of those, because I'm gonna have to fix this. It is about that time. It's a cult mentality. What they do is it's called a what the fuck is the name of it? When you come into a group setting and everybody congratulates you and keeps giving you like kudos or whatever, like, and the whole entire group does, to make you feel like special and like accepted. So it's a cult behavior. This is what happens in churches. This is what happens in any kind of group that they want you to participate and join, and they it's called love bombing, I believe. Is this right? Does somebody know this? Tell me that I'm right, or that you know it, or look it up. It's called love bombing. Huh. You can just watch me do this. Oh, there, I got one. See, and that is something I noticed. At the correct number of beverages, my nose, my hair becomes more sensitive. If you ever watch any of my shows, 2 drinks in, 3 drinks in, I'll always have a little, like, kind of, I feel like it's champagne, you get an itchy nose. I mean, it's usually because, like, champagne goes with cocaine. It's kind of that, champagne and cocaine. But it also makes your nose kind of itchy. It really does. Like, my nose doesn't get itchy. I get my nose hairs. They become more sensitive. It's a weird little thing that happens. It's like I become, I already have an outstandingly powerful schnoz, much like a pit bull or a lion, or a rhinoceros, or a hippopotamus, or maybe not quite like an elephant, but then it becomes more sensitive. I don't know if you guys noticed before. Yeah, toxic positivity could be more detrimental than people that are just always negative. Because with always negative people, you can just be like, you just finally go, fuck off. You would just be like, that wouldn't even affect you anymore. With the positive people, the bright, shiny, happy, shimmering, splendor people, those kind of people, they're so annoying because it's such a put on, it's such a makeup, it's such a fake, it's such a front, it's a smiling depressive kind of thing. Like, in one sense you want to say, Are you really this happy all the time, or is that a lot of drug use, or how do you really feel? Are you just saying, just say it? Like, I don't know. Toxic positivity is horrible, and it's actually now with the whole thing, like what we were just talking about, with the you can only thumbs up, like on Facebook, you can only thumbs up something. Now you can only do it on YouTube, and like what? So no one can be wrong or unhappy, or you can't disagree with something anymore. That's insane. Like everything. Oh yes, good job. Socially. Well, I don't like the way that you make me think. See, they say it's about how you make someone feel. No, it's not that. Because honesty, like, people don't like to think, so they're offended by the fact that they have to go through any sort of a thought. They're offended by that because they don't know how it works. They don't know. They can't see the process. So then they go, well, that hurt my feelings. Like, no, it's not possible. No, your brain is actually functioning, and you just don't like the fact that you're thinking. And usually when people get pissed, it's because 100% you're right, and they just want. And instead of responding accordingly and saying thank you, oh, that I didn't notice that. They get aggressive because they're unhappy, and they're upset that their ego can't handle the fact that they were wrong, or misguided, or not thinking far enough ahead, or to see how something works. Should probably plug my phone in, huh? Might as well. Oh hell. Hey, so do you guys want to do you guys, I don't know who was in here I don't know how long you guys have been known about this dude Zen over here. And no, I don't talk about myself in third person ever. I just think it's funny to say once in a while. But I used to do, does anybody remember doing the lives on hold on one second, y'all. Doing the live on Zoom. So Zoom chats are fun, where you guys can actually put your beautiful faces on and speak to each other and me. I mean, you don't have to. You can still be on. And the great thing about Zoom is that oh shit. Is that there's no censors. I can say everything that I want to say and not have to use like abstract language to try to explain something. And I could show videos, and I could point to things, and we can put music on, and you guys can share, and there can be breakout rooms and shit. But what I will say is, if anybody wants to do that, I'm gonna start doing that again. But I need you guys really gotta, you guys gotta come through with like donating for that cause, because I just want to pay for the year and be done with it. So it's like $100 for the year. Somebody paid for it last year, and I didn't use it for the tail end, because it was becoming cumbersome. A lot of people were coming through, and it was like it was becoming less of a show and more of just like a hangout, which is fine to do it that way. I think it would just be doing like, a show on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and then the other days would be like an open venue for people to come hang out and just interact. But if you guys come through, I think it's like $100. You guys just say it's for that, and I'll put it to the side, and we can start doing that again. And it changes this up quite a bit for me, because then when I'm talking about something, I can show you. I can screen capture. I can share the screen. I can put some music on, and I don't have to worry about getting, I can say something that would be considered a little spooky and weird without YouTube telling me to shut my filthy, fat, retarded face. So yeah. What's up, Black Sun? What you doing? Yeah, you got, and also here's an easy way to help is I know sometimes I say weird shit and I'm a goofy motherfucker, but you should probably, if you have friends and family and like, just be like, you should try listen to this fucking guy. But I will give you this one caveat: find a video of mine where I'm not being an obvious um, hindrance on all of reality and saying all of the crazy shit. Find one of those videos of mine and start there with it. You know what I mean? That would help, because then I get a bigger audience, and then encourage those people to throw a couple dollars on me surviving and having and thriving in this crazy environment. And then you guys don't have to come out with so much to just by spreading the word. Pretend my voice is you know, a fine chick's legs. You know, spread. You know where I was going with that. It was a terrible joke. Spread the word. You know, whatever. Spread the yeah. There was something there. It's an old joke. Fucking mutilated it though. I was thinking too hard about it. Well, Brenton, thank you, man. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I've done my best to not do like anything on here that like. And some people were like, oh, why don't you just get get on the thing with the subscription thing, get on the blah blah blah. Like I never wanted to do that, because I never wanted to. Oh yes, never wanted to hold people like fully. That doesn't sound good. I never wanted to hold people fully like, $20 a month or whatever, or $10 a month. I didn't, and also there is that like taxation where, like, if you guys were to give me $10, they tax me on it, like any of the other channels. Like it sounds like the guy's ruining that car, or his brakes are on no matter what. It sounds like he's driving with 2 feet, or doesn't know how to use a clutch. I can't tell what it is. It's awful at driving though. What are these? What are the little yellow flowers? These ones. There's little. I'd have to hold on. I'll bring it up in a second. Like tulips? Is it tulips? Little yellow tulips? Maybe. See, I'm sorry. I'm beside myself right now. It's like it's December and there's flowers blooming. Flowers blooming in December? That's crazy, dog. And I was. I can smell a little bit of a barbecue, and the smell of fall. Except it's not really. Some of the trees, like those, don't have any leaves, but there's palm trees. Well, what else? What else? We've covered a lot of things here. That's something I also like doing, is when I'm doing a show, the capacity to touch on a lot of different subjects, because I've made so many one directional like single thing we're talking about. Like, I can do that, but it feels very restricting. So that's why after you do a few thousand videos, it's kind of I'm kind of ad-libbing a lot of shit, because I've already done hour and a half of, okay, we're talking about specifically the letter A. I probably could do an hour on the letter A. What's up, Spirit Ball? What are you doing? There's the crow. As soon as you got here, the crow shows up. You hear the crow over there? What up, caw-caw? Caw-caw? Yeah, Ninja, I hear you. Well, we have as an entire culture. I mean, we've been more and more normalizing really strange behavior. It is strange. Uh, to that there that to me is like an alien type foreign foreign something happening to the brain. I there at that point like there's something wrong with someone's neurological connections. I don't know I don't know how and where these people are, who that benefits. I'm not sure the benefits of that. Again, say back to like what we normalization is never near healthy. We continually lower and lower the bar of what is acceptable and what we consider like silly, reckless, and weird behavior. Like we continually just go, yeah, that'll be okay. That'll be all right. We just it's kind of this is what happens. And this is not has nothing to do with capitalism completely, but I'm giving you the idea that when there's a profit margin and um, you have people investing into your stocks and you have to make a profit. The only way to make a profit is to build a profit is to either raise the raise the price or to reduce the quality. And we continually, what's that, brother? See you, man. And we continually reduce the quality of things. We continually lower the standards for everything. I mean, think about things that we used to buy back in the 60s, 70s, right? 80s even. It was built to last. It was built as heirloom. You could find some of your old grandparents, like, big chunky furniture, and they've had it, and it's gonna last. They used to buy shoes, and you'd go to the cobbler just to get this sole replaced, or maybe, you know, fixed up a little bit. But now we buy everything as disposable. Everything becomes IKEA. Everything becomes like we don't really care. Lower the quality, lower expectation, lower. Last show we were talking about great expectations, and all we do is we continue to lower expectations of everybody, and what is permissible, like how silly. Spirit Boy, the crow is you? Yeah, crow is me too. Yeah, fucking love crows, huh? Yeah, I think it is. It's a really strange thing. Just the continual lowering of standards, of expectations of how things should be made, but it's built into a lot of different cultures because of what is held to be was held to be more most important. The value system is so degraded, deranged, diluted. The value system of things is strange. So what's more important? Oh, it's just business. It's just money. What's more important? Well, and at what point, like, for $1 billion, would you kill your grandmother? There's some people that would say yes to that, absolutely. And some people might actually, maybe their grandmas are pieces of shit. And that's like, I'd do it for free. But in reality, it's like, there's a cost for everything. Everybody's got their. I'd give you $6 trillion. That's not a. You're giving somebody like a token for a giant fantasy of what they get after that, but they don't. They have no. Like you've put a fulcrum into someone's morality, their ethics, and their morals, right? Now, as I will plainly state again and again, I don't have morals or ethics in the standard way. There's, in the sense of what you call them and how they. No, I just think there is people. You kind of just instinctually know a better or a worse thing. You instinctually know. It's not not something you learn. We've unlearned that somehow. So our instincts go out the window when we find that money will provide us with the uh, ability to all of your wildest dreams. Come here on this fucking, this, get this Ferrari and these hot chicks and the bikinis and the da-da-da-da. I mean, obviously, male perspective here. But, women have their fantasies too. But it's always money driven, huh? It's always money driven. And so that right there has adjusted what our codes of ethics and morals are. Yeah. Yeah, Spirit Bow. Yeah, all they want you to do is doubt the self, feed your ego. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, here's what people need to really get correct about the ego. The ego is not to be destroyed, but to be observed for what it is. Like, if I didn't have an ego, would I be sitting here with the ring on my finger and this cool hat and these silly sunglasses and rocking? Would I be doing that? No. But I like it. You can like what you like. You just have to learn what your ego is. You have to use it as a vehicle. Your ego should be looked at as almost an object, really, because it's a piece of the way that you exist in this thing. Once you turn the lights off and bodies are together, intertwined, the ego is gone. Then you're just essentially there, right? So the ego is like a secondary imprint on what you think and what you need to present, what's presentable. Why do people wear a suit and tie over here, but they wear shorts and a t-shirt and cutoffs over here? Why do people? It's all. But again, the ego's not going to go anywhere. If everybody got rid of the ego, what would they do? Everybody would be some nappy, like dreadlocked out, just stumbling around, caveman style kind of shit, right? There would be no sense of any direction, order, or self-worth. But as soon as people rely on the ego to tell them what to do, they've missed the whole game. The ego is supposed to be there as a tool. I think it was Savan Bomar said, you treat the ego like an eagle. This could be my phrasing. It's probably not his. It's probably mine. He probably stole it from me. The ego is an eagle. You get on it and you fly around on it. You don't let it. You tell it what to do. I think that's the difference between people having style and flavor and people that have no awareness. Uh-huh. Yeah. There you go. If you know your own facade, yeah. Like this whole thing is just it's like what do they call it? The during that era where they put gold on everything, but it wasn't real. It was the fake gold. The Gilded Ages. It's your gilding. Your ego is gilded. They look at it and they go, "Oh, that's gold," and you just go, "Oh, I got it. I think I finally got the boogie." It's your ego is a false gold. You look at the frame and it's like, "Oh, look at this," and then you're like, "Oh, it's only like it's just a foil on top. Oh, I've been foiled. I've been." Some people get that, like, no, you just play dress up, play. Every day is Halloween. Play it that way. Just try it. Try living life as every day was Halloween. I mean, most people do. They just don't know it. See, what I've noticed, and I want to do a whole show on this. I have before, but Um, on Halloween, people dress up as they really want to be, and the rest of the year, they are actually playing dress up. They go to their job and they put the thing on and they put this skirt and this thing and they're not comfortable and they don't like it and they but I got to put my hair this way and that's not what they want. It's not what they want to look like. That's not what they want to do. So what all chicks do? They come out as bloody nurses, slutty bloody nurses, because certainly women are they want to help and care, but they also want to be slutty. They want to be, you know, keep it moral and ethical in the streets, but be a freak in the sheets, that kind of shit. That's what they really want to be. The rest of the year, they're faking it. They're faking it all for one day of Halloween, which everybody says you're playing dress up and not being yourself, and it's the inverse. Try doing that 364 days. Spirit bow. You never feel called to dress up? Yeah, I mean, you get it in the sense of like most men. What man really wants to put a suit and tie on? If you're the kind of dude that wants to put a tie on your neck, you're what you want a noose on your neck? You want to be pulled around? That's what it's for. No one. How does no one know what the tie is there for? So somebody can grab it, and just pull you by the neck. That's what it's there for. It's the same knot as a noose. That's just out of. So it's all nice. Oh. No, nobody would choose to do. You would never choose to do that on your own. I mean, maybe you're into some freaky shit in the bedroom. Okay, fine. Go ahead, do that. That's fine. Maybe you like it, but you wouldn't as a daily like routine and ritual and whatever. Nah, you ain't doing that. But yet you go and do that for somebody else to tell you what to do. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go do that and put that suit and tie on. Like everything about a suit, as nice as it looks, and sometimes I like wearing a suit. I don't like the tie so much, but everything about it is mad uncomfortable. Like, I mean, think about the way that think of 1600 rural China, Japan, that kind of. Think of the way the men dress. Why? It's flowy and loose, because and there's no thing going up the middle of your crotch, because you have testicles there. And I don't know if you noticed that. Like, men should be wearing skirts and dresses. Men should be, because they have that thing there. There'd be no reason to go all the way up there and it goes to the size. Oh, weird. Women should wear pants. Men should wear would be called like a tunic or a robe or a gown or something. It's quite the opposite. There's nothing comfortable at wearing a suit. It's everything backwards. Yeah. The whole thing. Trying to move, like, what? If you got a suit on, you really can't. You're not capable of moving in a very dancing, comfortable. It's not fluid motion. There's nothing there. It turns you very. It's like put a suit on and everybody get the same short little haircut and put the fucking it's cookie cutter shit. Oh man, I may have to be. I may be embarking soon here onto a journey where I have to pee pee. Also, there is a few people here. If you'd like to, you're allowed to give a thumbs up for this 2 hours of hilarity and education and whatever else. And you are as well allowed to, because it is that holiday I know you're all feeling giving. I know you are. Because really, in reality, you're probably buying gifts for people that you don't like. But I'm pretty sure y'all like me. So you should do things for people that you like. And if you want to, feel free to donate. Holiday season. Happy Zenmas. Zenmas gifts. CashApp, PayPal, all that shit. And if anybody's really wanting to send me something, I can give you a place to send that to. As I do have a couple cool things that people have sent me. Smart work and shit. But yeah, feel free. It's in the description box if you're looking for it. What's up, y'all? Yeah, I'd cook it with you guys for a little longer, but I'm pretty feeling the PP came out of nowhere. Feeling very PP. Yes, but it is early. It's only 4 o'clock. It's like 3:40. So I might be able to do another 3 shows today. I might be able to do a show by the river. I would have done it earlier by the river, but the wind was quite intense. Okay, Spirit Bow. For sure. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. As the end of the show, as a ritual reminder, take care of yourself first, because you can't help others unless you're taking care of yourself. So stay healthy and be funny and be weird. Be yourself. Choose to be like you are, because everybody else already taken. Nobody else wants to be the way you are. You want to be the way you are, so be that way. You know. Just try it out. Try your skin on for once. And be weird. Enjoy your day. Be generous when you can, and don't be humble. You know, I tried that. It doesn't work. You do have to humble yourself sometimes, but enjoy being expressive and expansive. And maybe we'll talk in a little bit. We'll see. Stay well. Good Godspeed and all that shit. Bye.